Alright, John, we'll just talk a little bit about the away fixture at Eastbourne Borough.
Yeah.
Tell us how that went and what did you think about
Thought poor first half. We made quite a few changes, played some of the young ones. We had a little look at another system. It probably wasn't maybe the most ideal thing to do in terms of we put some of the youngsters in. First half we weren't good. Second half we were very, very good. Changed our system back to something that they're more familiar with. But it's important, that if you need to make a change in a game, you have another way you can go. And we've been looking at it in training. We're preparing for sort of a long season, and there'll be times when you think this isn't working. Maybe I need to change. So with that in mind, we thought that's an ideal time to do it. And we wanted to play, some of the younger players. We wanted to give some other people a little bit more game time. So in the end, second half was very, very good. Second half was poor, but I'm not looking too close at that.
Yeah, and yesterday it was tragic that we've heard St Albans City.
Yes, absolutely.
We're meant to have a pre-season friendly there. Yeah. Obviously that was cancelled, but you did manage to get a training match.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. How did that went?
Well, where that was ideal, everyone could have some sort of game where you have a game and you play people for half a game or an hour and some for half an hour, and we played 3 20 minutes. So everyone that we needed to get an hour's football got an hour's football. They're not the best games, to be fair, because they don't have the same intensity. But what they did give, they gave people like what I call football time, game time, not training time. And so for that reason, that would be good for everybody that took part. It wouldn't have been something that we'd coach, we'd just let them go and play, and then perhaps talk to some individuals after about their game and what they've done. And we, as you know, we had it filmed, so we'll look at some things that maybe we might highlight to players about the good and the bad. But I think it was an ideal opportunity to play 11v11 with everyone that you've got at the club being involved. Because of injuries, we never had all senior players. We brought a couple of young boys in who sort of took part, but it was perfect in terms of preparation.
Yeah, you mentioned injuries. Any updates at all?
Well, I can give you a little bit of update. Scott Doe has had his little operation. He had an operation at the end of the season. It wasn't quite right, but they found the fault and he's back in, and he's already back in training. I mean, he only had it 4 or 5 days ago, and he's back in training. And we're hoping he won't be too long. It's only a slight adjustment, so that's okay. Charlie Adams, who's been out, he took part in yesterday. He played I think for 40 minutes, which was ideal for him. So really, really pleased with that. He might be a week behind, I think, but I don't think he's going to be that far behind. Sparks is had an injection, which they think will repair the injury in his groin. He's done quite a bit of training, not as perhaps as much as we'd like him to do, but he's pushing on now, so we're pleased with that. Ben Nunn is a really weird one. I think in the West Ham game fractured his hands. But that's been looked at. There is a cast he can wear to protect it, and as soon as that's comfortable he can play. Now I'd like to think that probably not Saturday, but this coming week he'll be back in training. That's what I'd like to think. So although we've had a few sort of bumps and bruises, I think that they're all sort of the right side of coming back now.
Yeah, this week we've announced the signing of Nicholas. Could you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, got brought to our attention through our scouting system. He's a wide player, and he's a little bit unique. He's a wide players now, they seem to be like forwards that play a bit wider. People play a 4-3-3 system. What we've tried to do this year, we've tried to find some crosses, because we believe that Hawks will benefit from crosses. We think Cheek will benefit from crosses. So with that in mind, we sort of brought Dan Sparks in, because he's a natural crosser. And Nick's a natural crosser, and he's a slightly different crosser. He likes to play perhaps on his wrong side, and he comes back in on his strong foot and sort of really bends that ball in at the back post, and he's quite impressed us really. And we thought, I like to take a gamble on unknown talent, and he's not a kid. I think he's 24, but we took Paul Benson at 25, so that doesn't put me off. He's got 10 years of foot winning. Like all players, when you bring them in from a bit lower, you never know. But he just had a little bit of something that we liked when we took him to Portugal, and thought it'd be a good inclusion in our squad.
Yeah, and lastly, Stevenage, we play them on Saturday.
Yeah.
It'll be a test for us, obviously, because they're in League Two.
Yeah, that'd be tough. Probably touch more realistic to it as well. They play slightly different than some of when we played West Ham. They'll play a bit different to most teams that we would play, but they'll be a big, strong side. I know most of their players, so that. Had a good season last season. I think just missed out on the playoffs. So I think that'd be a good test for us. I'd like to, thread one or two of the other boys to get some game time, but we're quite looking forward to the competition of the game, the physical side of the game, which is probably more likely going to meet. It's really weird, isn't it? I don't put too much store in pre-season games. I'm not a lover of pre-season games. You have to play them, of course, but they don't particularly. I don't think they tell a story. I've had good pre-seasons and bad starts, or bad pre-seasons and good starts, and vice versa. So, but what it always does, it tells you where you are fitness-wise and organisation-wise. And after Saturday, we'll have a week before we start. I wouldn't expect we'd be doing anything fitness-wise because I know we're fit, but I think that might just highlight a few organisational problems that we need to sort of look to in the last week.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.